Falcon fans, Falcon fans, Falcon fans. That's a shout out to my guy Jack Spade. Welcome everyone to For My ATL Sports One channel and the show. What the Falcon? What the Falcon? Scott, how you doing, man? All well?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well, ladies and gentlemen. Scott is our resident football badass. Knows everything in regards to stats and everything in regards to coverages and a whole lot of other stuff. So, looking forward to getting into it today, man. Excited about this draft and just what these Falcons have going on. So, hey, man, let's do it. Rapid fire. We're probably going to do 3 or 4 drafts today. So, let's take advantage of our
Sounds good.
right off the Falcons have been visiting with some folks. Looks
Yes.
like they had a visit with Brandon Swinson, who's an LSU edge rusher, and William and Mary guard, well, offensive lineman who's a tackle. I'm sorry, Charles Grant. Scott, give me your thoughts on that. I know you're a fan of Grant. Give me your thought of Swinson.
Swinson is probably more of a day three kind of guy.
Okay.
Maybe if they trade down in the first, pick up a third, and they go like, hey, we're going to take Jahad Campbell at 18, right? And we pick up a third, and they're like, all right, well, we got Campbell, and then, oh, hey, look, Tyleek Williams in the second. All right, well, Tyleek Williams, that's your linebacker, your defensive lineman. You still haven't gotten an edge. Still haven't gotten a pass rush rotational guy. Swinson could be that guy in the third if that's the way they want to go.
Okay.
I don't think taking him before that's a smart move. He's very one-dimensional. He rushes the passer. He can't play in coverage. He can't play the run very well. He's kind of a late bloomer, but he can rush the passer great. He's a fun athlete. He's just very limited at this point to being a one-trick pony.
Okay.
Like super one-trick pony. Like he's probably worse than Lorenzo Carter was against the run. Lorenzo Carter was like epically bad last year against the run. Just doesn't have a feel for it yet. And that's okay. Like he'll get there eventually. Charles Grant, love him. They probably brought him in to see if he might be able to snap the ball. There's question as to whether Charles Grant could play either guard, tackle, or even center, but with a lot of teams.
Okay.
He's a great athlete. He's got great technique on the line. He played left tackle for 4 years at William and Mary and was one of the best in, I forget what conference William and Mary's in, but he was all conference. He's a hell of a player. He's a former wrestler, strong as an ox, great technique, great leverage, holds his anchor, good in the pass game. Needs to get a little bit better in the run game, but the Falcons run a wide zone, and wide zone is designed to hide deficiencies, I'll say, in the run game.
Okay.
Designed to use your fast offensive linemen to out leverage the guys.
Okay.
And a guy like Charles Grant would really fit that scheme.
Okay.
They ran a lot of gap and power and pin pull and a lot of that stuff with the offensive line up at William and Mary, and he's not a great fit for that kind of run game. He's a way better fit for what we do here.
Okay.
So great athlete. If he can snap a ball, he's a really smart offensive lineman. So if he can snap a ball, do it effectively, they might even be considering him for center.
Okay. That's interesting. Now, let me ask you a question. Is he a day 1 pick or day 2 pick in your mind's eye?
So I like him in day 2 talent wise, but he's probably a day 3 guy.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. That makes sense. Scott, look, I know you're plugged in. Who else have the Falcons visited with that maybe we don't know about or that they hosted?
So they've shown a lot of interest in Mike Green. They've shown a lot of interest in Michael Williams. They went to Texas A&M, worked out all the Texas A&M guys. They went to Bama, worked out all the Bama guys. They spent time with Campbell. There's not really a ton of Bama guys this year, but like Campbell was the main one. I mean, they spent time with Tyler Booker, but I don't think that's even a realistic idea because he's not exactly a great guard. They're not going to move him to center. He's 360 pounds and 6'5", like a little too big for a center, right?
Okay.
So I don't see that being a pick, but they worked him out. So I think it's while we're here, right?
Right.
Sometimes that's what teams do.
That makes sense. We gotta do some housekeeping. Mike says, fellas, what up, Mike? How you doing, man? Hopefully all is
Like,
well. Deshaun says, what up, T-Will and Scott? Yeet, get some. I love it, Deshaun. I love it. That gets me pumped up. I just love it. Hey, um, who do you so I love me some Jahad Campbell. I do.
oh yeah.
I don't know how Mike I like Mike Green. I'm just not sure where the Falcons are with it, but word on the street is we hosted him, right? We did host Mike Green, is that correct? Or we visited
I
with him?
forget if we hosted him or if we sent a contingent up to Marshall, but we
Okay.
spent time. We spent extended time with him.
Okay.
I mean, we've spent extended time with Green. We spent extended time with Jahad Campbell. Um, and the Jahad Campbell one is the one that's interesting to me specifically because I think he's one of the best players in the draft. But I also see a vision where they take Campbell and instead of having Caden Ellis play the Mike position, Caden Ellis in base now plays the Sam, which gets rid of your need to get a Michael Williams type guy to play that Lorenzo Carter role in the Sam, to play that Damone Harris,
Yeah.
James Smith Williams role in the base defense.
Yeah.
That can now just be played by Caden Ellis. And then in the nickel, you've got basically a designated blitzer that you just roll around the formation wherever you want. So that gives you a lot more versatility with Caden Ellis to put him in a position where he wins instead of putting him in coverage because he sucks in coverage.
Gotcha.
And it gets you a Mike that can actually play in coverage
Okay.
and play man to man and play that Tampa 2 zone that they like their Mike to do and play that over the middle, just intermediate guy and not be completely lost.
Hey man. I love it. Carrie says, hi, T-Will and Scott. What's going on? Miss Carrie, baby, the best producer in the business. I don't care what anybody says. And then we got my man Ryan, the Birdcage. The Birdcage. No fair. He had his Bama stuff up. Laugh out loud. Give me Mikael Williams or Jalen Walker.
I am not a Bama fan. My wife is a Bama fan. So
okay.
Even in the man cave, your wife is going to put stuff up in your man cave, right?
Hey.
There's only so much you can do.
That's true.
So
happy life.
Make her happy. I am big school agnostic. I went to the Citadel. That's my team. I'm not a Bama guy. I root for Bama because I like seeing my wife happy, but I'm not a Bama guy. Okay. I'm a who's the best talent guy. Okay. Would I love Michael Williams here? Absolutely. He was at the Falcons facility today. He did he's that kind of guy that I'm kind of alluding to in that base set this year that would replace Carter, JSW, Damone Harris snaps, and also get a little bit of run in the nickel. Also, just kind of throwing this out there, Jalen Walker, I like Walker, but he's a very redundant player to Caden Ellis.
Okay.
Like he and Ellis are basically the same kind of guy.
Okay.
Both suck in coverage. Both are great at blitzing from random spots. Both are good against the run. Like, I like both guys. But to have both guys there, you have a black hole over the middle of your defense with coverage. And it's really not good to have that, especially in the NFC South with the tight ends we have in this division.
That's a good point. Jonta Rozier. Jonta, how you doing, man? Jonta says, T-Will, what's good? Scott, you bring up a good point. And I believe it's something that a lot of people, and look at if you don't have, I guess, the football acumen that you do, or if you're not as astute, you may look at it and say, oh, this guy's great in this area, but it's important to realize, how does he fit into what you already have? How does he not only fit the scheme, but how is he going to mesh with the players that you already have? And that's a great point, Scott. Caden is not the best in coverage, so why go and get somebody else who's going to be Caden too? I mean, look, you might increase your sacks, but you probably increase the amount of passes that you give up over the middle specifically. So that's a good point.
And one of your first reads in the hot is, where's the blitzer coming from?
Yeah.
So from the quarterback's perspective, because this is how you got to think. You got to think like it's chess, right? From the quarterback perspective, if you're looking at it and you go, okay, my hot is coming in from the mic, and then I've got another hot coming in from the other mic, and I've got a tight end going right behind them. Where am I tossing my hot?
Yeah.
I'm just arcing it right over their heads every single time.
Yeah. No, I mean that's a great point, man. I like the fact that I thank God I got you, man, because I wouldn't have thought of it that way, right? I'd be thinking, oh great, that's a great pick because this guy is noted for this, but it is a very important point. You got to look at what you already have, kind of like you might, some would say if you're going to get a D tackle, you're probably going to need a little more beef, a healthier, stealthier guy for what we're trying to play now. I mean, at least that those are my thoughts. What do you think about that?
At least a guy who can play that one technique, who's may not be 350, but even if he's like a 320 guy that plays like he's 350 in the run game, but also has that penetration ability off the snap where that Grady had, right? So you want a guy who's basically like Grady Jarrett, but 6'4", 325. And that same guy is going to be big enough to actually hold up on those double teams.
Gotcha.
Grady was playing at like 295 playing one tech. Like, this isn't 2004 anymore. You can't have Ed Jasper out there, right?
I'm sorry. I didn't expect you to say that.
I mean, Ed Jasper, Ellis Johnson, those guys, like that's who the nose tackles were when I was growing up. Like, they weren't doing anything. And then they got Grady Jackson, and all of a sudden the Falcons defensive line started getting sacks again.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Grady. I'm gonna miss Grady. I really am gonna miss Grady. Ryan brought up some prospects. Tell me what you think of these guys. Walter Nolan or JJ Pegues.
JJ Pegues is a really good football player if you are taking him in the 4th round. He's or like the 7th round. I wouldn't take him before the 4th round. Like he's a day 3 guy, right?
Okay.
They can take him anywhere on day 3, and I'd be like, I get it, right? Walter Nolan, I wouldn't touch. Ty Robinson,
really? Let's talk about that. So why? Yeah, why wouldn't you?
It's nothing to do with on field.
Oh. Okay.
So sometimes there's stuff that I hear and I'm like, okay, James Pierce is another one of those guys. If it was solely isolated to their on-field play, I would take them in a heartbeat in the 1st round. Those guys on field are 1st-round talents. But from what I'm hearing off the field, they'd be off my board. Because I want a guy who will show up on time every day, come in, play hard, practice hard, do extra workouts, do what it takes to get done at the pro level.
Okay. That's fair. So you talk about work ethic. Gotcha.
Yeah. So a good example of that, Falcons aren't in the market for a quarterback, so don't get on me about talking about Jalen Milroe like this. But the model character for me is Jalen Milroe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude got a master's degree in 3.5 years. He spent his free time either working on class, in the weight room, or watching film, or throwing with his receivers.
That's what's up.
And then that was basically it. Like, he was not out there partying and doing all the crazy stuff, or he wasn't defying his coaches. If his coaches gave him something to work on, he worked on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now that he has no master's degree to worry about, because that's already done, box checked off, mom happy, right?
Yeah.
He can spend all his time saying, all right, I'm going to work on my mechanics. I'm going to work on this. I'm going to work on that. I want the same thought at whatever edge we take, whether it's Michael Williams, who's like, all right, well, screw college. I don't need that anymore. I'm just going to get in and get hard, like get in the weight room hard and hit the film room hard and, hang out with my boys in the edge room and build that team chemistry and, go to battle with my brothers kind of guy. That's the kind of guy that like a Michael Williams is. That's honestly the kind of guy a Mike Green is. It's just Mike Green has other issues.
Yeah. Yeah.
But since there's no legal situation actually come up from it, there's only so much you can worry about there. Like I get a little nervous on it, but if it doesn't happen again in the future, we don't ever hear about him again.
Yeah. No, I feel the same way about Mike. Like it's gonna be in the back of my mind, but to your point, obviously, like you say, the Falcons checked it out. If they don't think it's an issue, and believe you me, if there was any inkling of it, they wouldn't go near it. And then it's a non-issue. My guy A1 from day one. What up, Chris? How you doing, man? What it do, family? A1, laugh out loud, man. We just did a show and we're talking about Ed Jasper. Okay.
For a 290-pound nose tackle, that man held his own.
Yeah, man. That's a big boy. Speaking of which, was it you who brought up the big dude that's 464 pounds last week? Did we talk about that?
That wasn't me, but that dude his coach needs to be fired for that. His position coach. Like, that's insane. You can't let a man get that big. You got to hold him accountable. You got to not let him play football once he gets over a certain amount, because it doesn't matter how big you are, like naturally, if you are 160 pounds over your position average, you probably have something wrong.
Yeah.
Right? You probably have something medically wrong. Like, you can probably put that dude on Ozempic. He'd lose 150 pounds, and then he'd still be like, all right, I'm just taking it for maintenance now. Like, and he'd be okay. He'd probably still be 310 pounds if you gave that man Ozempic. Like, that's how big he is. He's got something wrong with him medically to be 460 pounds.
That's a lot, man. That's but word on the street is he can move. Word on the street is he can move.
He could move, but imagine how much better he could move if he lost 150 pounds.
I hear you, or at least 120. I still like an offensive tackle that's 360, because when it's 4th and 1, hey, you can get behind that guy. I know low man wins, but I'm just
give me the guy who plays like he's 360 pounds and is only 320 or 330.
That's fair. That is fair. Let's see. We got Mike in here. We got Bernard in here. Hey, Bernard, how you doing? Hello, Falcons Nation. Great show so far. Well, thank you, Bernard. We appreciate that. Welcome anytime, and please like, share, and subscribe to For My ATL Sports 1 on YouTube. I will drop it in here. But Bernard, welcome. I don't know that I've seen you at one of my shows, so welcome. You're definitely welcome to come back anytime. We got Berto from 95 North. Berto, what it do? Berto says, do the Falcons walk out of the draft with its Grady replacement? Who would you target as a replacement?
How do I put this? Grady replacement in terms of body in the rotation, yes. Grady replacement in terms of nickel one tech, yes. Grady replacement in terms of like what he meant to this team, what he meant to this league, what he meant to this roster.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you. But in terms of a guy who can play his snaps and be effective in them, I think they do. There's a couple names I want people to keep an eye out for. One is Kenneth Grant out of Michigan in the first round. He absolutely could be a Grady replacement. He is a fantastic space-eating, just beef in the middle, and he can penetrate the A-gap. Another name, Alfred Collins, just freakishly athletic, long-armed guy. If they took Alfred Collins in the second round, I wouldn't be surprised. I also wouldn't be mad at all. Collins is one of those guys that just really fits what they want to do here. And again, the long arm thing, in addition to him just being a really good football player, helps out a lot. And he's one of those guys that off field, like, yeah, he's 330, but he is not a fat 330.
Okay.
So you can tell he got that just working out off field.
Okay.
And he may not, I don't remember if he was a captain or not, but he was definitely one of the leaders on that Texas defense. Like he was the captain of his position group, if you will.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes sense.
So those, and then Tyleek Williams from Ohio State is another name.
Talk about him. I've heard you talk about him. Yeah. We got Miss Christie. I love me some Miss Christie, man. Miss Christie comes with it. Christy, how you doing up in Mississippi? Hopefully all is well. Go Birds, go Falcons, and good to see you, Miss Christy. Let's see. Mike says it won't be weird for Grady at the bank. Guess not.
Is that Mad Mike? Because I mean, he's being real cynical right now.
No, that's not Mad Mike. That's not Mad.
Okay.
Let's see. Berto says Omar Norman Lott.
If you want a 3-tech, someone to rotate in with Rukaroro and Brandon Dorless and Taquan Graham. Like at a certain point, you've got so many guys that can play 3-tech that do you really need another one?
Yeah.
I like Norman Lott. I think they need to get someone who's a little bigger or at least plays bigger, right?
Okay.
You know, even if it's like a 310-pound guy or a 320-pound guy like Zeke Biggers. I'd rather have Zeke out of Georgia Tech in there causing havoc right up front than anything else.
Okay. All right. Bernard says, learned about this channel from Big Low Country. Well, Bernard, I will have to thank Big Low. Thank you for that, sir. Appreciate it.
I love Big Low. Big Low is one of the best dudes ever. He really is.
Nicest guy. Incredibly humble. And funny as all get out. And you want to hear something? Yeah. His wife and he together are hilarious. I just heard a show with them a couple of weeks ago. I'd never heard his wife before. All right. I was cracking up. I was in tears on the way home. Like, Big Low is that dude, and you can't convince me. The nicest guy, hilarious. Whenever I've asked him to be on my show, he's done it. He's been great. I just love the guy. And so, Bernard, hey, man, welcome. And thank you. So
we were in London, and Big Low, we were in London for the Falcons-Jags game over there a couple years back.
Yeah.
And Lowe's wife and my wife were there at the table just cutting up for like 2 hours while we were watching the Georgia game. It was just like 2 hours of them just having fun, going at it, just all that. Because my wife's a Bama fan. So, you know, Lowe's wife obviously is a Georgia fan like he is.
Right.
They were just, but they were laughing about it, but they were just going at it. Like, they were having fun.
I believe it, man. I believe it. Just, hey, man, they both just give good energy and good people, and they're just fun to be around. So, hey, man, anytime, you know, it's just great, man. Let's get into Derek Carr. So, Derek, what does his injury, or does it mean anything for the Falcons? Does it, from the perspective of maybe, I don't know, the Saints draft Shedeur Sanders? Does it mean
higher than that?
You think so?
Top 3 picks is going to have Shedeur and Cam Ward guaranteed. Shedeur doesn't make it past the Giants.
What? You don't think now they have Russell Wilson, right? And they got Justin Fields.
Okay, so they don't have Justin Fields. They got Jameis Winston.
Yeah, you're right. They got Jameis. Yeah, they got crab legs, and they got Russell Wilson.
So they've got the guy to teach them. They got the guy to teach him how to be super conservative. They got the guy to teach him how to be super aggressive. And then they want him to be right about here.
Okay.
Like 60 aggressive, 40 conservative. Like he's probably going to New York if he somehow makes it past Cleveland. Like it doesn't, like, they've got the structure for him to learn if they want him to for a full year. Wilson's not making that much, and he's on a 1-year deal. Winston's not making that much. He's on a 1-year deal. So they got two guys on a 1-year deal. They have no franchise quarterback. They got a head coach and a GM who are in a last ditch effort to try and make something work. And if you don't have a long term quarterback to at least tie yourself to as like your last ditch of, hey, I want to keep my job. I've been training this quarterback all year on this offense. Let's see what he looks like. They don't have that. They're probably screwed and getting fired.
That's a good point. I did not think about it that way, and maybe a lot of us don't. Um, that's interesting, right? Because Russ is on a short deal. Jameis is definitely on a short. Yeah, it's well known.
He's on the 1-year backup plan,
Yeah,
Brian Fitzpatrick circuit at this point.
yeah, yeah. So that's a good point. They could take him. I did not think about that. That is a good point. That's interesting. Okay.
But for the Saints at 9, they could reach for a guy who I have in the 3rd round, like Jackson Dart, which means another one of those pass rushers. I've been pegging Jalen Walker to them before the Carr news came out. Now I'm slotting Jackson Dart in there, and now Jalen Walker's falling down a little bit to, I would say, San Francisco.
Okay.
And now with that happening, now San Francisco is not taking Mykel Williams. So San Francisco's Mykel Williams is falling down a little bit. So that chain effect could be, okay, well, Dart goes up, but now Mykel Williams is sitting there at 15. Or Mike Green's sitting there at 15. Or, someone that you're not expecting to be there at 15 is sitting right there. Maybe it's Kenneth Grant. Or maybe you have 4 guys sitting there at 15 and you got an offer from the Seahawks at 18 and they go, hey, we'll give you 18 and 82 and just call it a day. We want to come up for one of these 4 guys that you have all equally rated, right? Let's say they got Jahad Campbell, Mykel Williams, Mike Green, Kenneth Grant. And they're like, you know what? They're all equally graded. We can't decide. Let's drop back a couple picks. Pick up a 3rd, and then, oh, hey, we still have the choice between Mykel Williams and Jahad Campbell. Well, let's look at this linebacker class. Kind of a weak linebacker class. Let's look at the edge class. Pretty strong. All right, let's just take Jahad. Or Jahad's gone, Kenneth Grant's gone. Now you're just deciding between Mykel and Mike. Well, just take whichever one you like better at that point. Okay. Let your defensive line coach or your edge, let Nate Ollie, let, Jaquez Smith, let those 2 guys debate on who the better guy is. They're probably already going to go in together with the same guy in mind. They're probably going to both go in and go like, all right, we want Mykel because of X, Y, and Z, or we want Mike because of, A, B, and C. Like it's like they're going to be together probably.
Okay.
And I guarantee you Ulbricht's going to be like, hey, I trust my guys. So at that point, it's like, all right, well, what are we doing? So
that's fair. We got John from Out of Your Falcon Mind, and also the Morning Chop Shop. Good morning, John. How you doing? We just did a show this morning. Hopefully, all is well, my guy. John's son is doing great at baseball, by the way. Not good, great. He struck out somebody. The guy looked so bad last night. It's available online if you guys want to see. But he made that guy look bad. I mean, it was bad. He looked like Greg Maddux swinging at a breaking ball from Randy Johnson back in the day. It was made him look bad, man. Son's doing really well. Deshaun Kirk is going to Miami because Tua is wishy-washy and they need a QB. Also, it's close to Atlanta, so his wife will be happy. Is this even a possibility?
Not with how money works in the NFL.
Okay.
The reason why I keep pointing out the Steelers is they have nothing committed to the quarterback position. They have like $3 million committed to the quarterback position in Mason Rudolph, and that's it. They got a minimum contract on Skylar Thompson. If you have $4 million tied up to your quarterback position, you have $0 committed to your quarterback position. They trade for Kirk. They take the whole deal. They give back like a 1/6. They've got $40 million open cap right now too, so they can afford to do it.
Okay.
It's not like it's hey, and it's not like there's a big money free agent out there that they can just go and sign tomorrow either. Like
correct.
It's not like that. There's that worry on the other side. So, it doesn't make sense for them to not do a move with Kirk if you're Pittsburgh.
Okay.
While I still think they take Jalen Milroe in the first round, their plan for Milroe is going to be 2 years.
Okay.
Sit behind Kirk for 2 years. Learn how to play quarterback in the NFL for 2 years behind the best person for you. And then Kirk would, maybe he's traded second day and he's like, hey, I know they're playing, but I'm okay with it. As long as I'm healthy for the next 2 years, I'm in there. And then he's just focusing on getting healthy. And maybe Kirk has a great first year and then second year gets benched. He just wants the guaranteed money, right? Plus, with how his contract's structured, he's got 1 year left in the NFL anyway, before he's on that Joe Flacco, Jameis Winston level contract of $4 or $5 million a year. That's it.
Right.
So,
let me ask you this question. I had it and it left me. It left. It was here and it's gone. How do you feel in regards to if we get 3 great guys, right? Do you feel it's a must that we trade down?
So I don't think it's an absolute necessity to trade down. I do think it would be nice, right? And I could see 2 trade downs this year. I could see one both in the first and in the second. So say the first round you trade down 3-4 spots, you pick up a third. That's good. Second round, the Bills have 2 second-round picks. They have 3 fourth-round picks. They have like 5 sixth-round picks. You trade down with the Bills to either 55 or 62. You pick up a 4 and a 6. And then now, instead of having 5 picks for the draft, you have 8 picks for the draft by doing both those moves. And you feel like you can actually get some cheap depth for the team. Cheap competition, at least at some positions, right? You pick up that extra 4th, that could be the difference in getting Charles Grant or getting Charles Grant and Braden Swinson, right? So that's kind of the thought process there.
Okay.
They don't need to trade down. I think it'd be stupid for them not to.
Yeah.
But I just did a simulation with a bunch of other people acting as GMs for their teams. Couldn't get a trade down to save my life. Tried multiple times. And I wasn't asking for anything crazy. I had an agreement at 15, if a certain player fell, that I was going to get Seattle's first and third. That was 3 spots. I had an agreement at 45, if a certain player fell. They were targeting Trey Amos for what it's worth, and that was probably unrealistic. But I was going to get the 4 and the 6 from Buffalo. So that's why I'm saying, like, those are actually really spots that make sense, if you will.
Yeah, it's interesting because I noticed when you and I started, and we started doing this about 3 weeks ago. I'd say that we've done at least
4 weeks ago, yeah.
3-4 weeks ago. It was a lot easier to get trades. Like we were getting, I think one trade we got like 5, right? Now it's like the closer you get towards it, the offers have been less and less.
Well, and teams are a lot more locked in at this point too.
Yeah,
they know who they want.
Okay. All right. Well, hey man, no time like the present. So we're gonna go. Oh, what the hell? All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started with this one. And as always, you're the GM, so let's go. All right, we're at 15, and this looks to be garbage to me. It's all next year.
Garbage. Yeah, hit reject.
We're gonna reject that. Now we got
Definitely
a 7th. We're gonna reject that, or what are we doing?
Reject that. Come on now.
Definitely rejecting it. Okay.
All
right. So we got Mikael. We got Shamar Stewart, who I'm really not sold on. I'm really not.
So Shamar Stewart's film is terrible. There's some people that love it, and I'm like, because he's flying around with no body control, like I really don't get it. I'm not a fan of Shamar Stewart at all. He has no hand usage, no body control. His awareness might as well be set to 0 if this were Madden. Like, just not a fan.
Okay. we got Mikel there, we got Mike Green, we got Jihad, and we got Malachi Starks.
Okay.
What are we thinking here?
There's also Kenneth Grant on the board. If you scroll down a little bit more.
Yeah, let me scroll down. Yeah, right there.
So there's Kenneth Grant. So there's the 4 guys. That's the 4 guys situation, right?
Can we seek a trade then?
So at the top, hit trade. Now trade with Seattle. Just for kicks and giggles. Have them give us 18 and 82. We're not getting a second rounder out of them, right? But 18 and 82 we could get.
All right, we'll go ahead and make the trade.
That would be the trade I would do.
All right, we're going to reject that.
And yeah, anything that's future heavy, you always reject.
We're going to reject that.
And reject that.
Reject that. All right.
All right, so now let's look at the board.
You still got Mikael Williams. You still got Mike Green. You still got Jihad Campbell.
But Grant's gone.
You got Malachi Starks. Do we do the unthinkable and maybe take another trade down, or are you good here?
No, just take Michael.
Michael it is.
In this situation, let's take Michael.
All right, we took him.
And then depending on who's available at 46 will depend on what we should do here. That's a ridiculous trade. That's not realistic. No one's giving you that much to move 2 spots, right? That's more realistic, but that's still not going to happen.
Yep.
So, reject that too. Scroll down a little bit.
Okay.
All right. So there's some good targets here, like Schlesinger, Watts. Who's that defensive line? I just want to see if my guy's still there.
Alfred Collins is there.
So
TJ Sanders.
Let's look at another trade real quick.
All right.
Go to Buffalo.
Buffalo. All right.
And then for ours, obviously, it's 46. For them, hit 56.
Okay.
132.
Oh, it says it's not allowed. 1-to-1 trades.
1 for 1, yeah, but hit 132, and it should be fine.
Okay.
And then scroll down.
Okay.
And hit 173. I think that's what they need to do. And throw in 206 just for measure. There you go. That makes it work.
All right. So we will do that.
So that's how you get a bunch of picks from a team that has 11. I wouldn't trade with the Saints for anything.
Nothing.
So Alfred Collins is who I go with here.
All right.
Because you just traded down, you picked up a little capital. Alfred Collins is probably more of a low 2, high 3 in the actual draft. I just really like him. At this point, we'll just reject all the other trades. We're just going to pick from this point. All right, so go to all. So we've got the edge and the defensive lineman sorted out.
Yep.
Hey, look who's there at 82. Scroll up a little bit. Braden Swinson. No, do I think we take
I did not see him. Okay.
No.
Wow.
Don't take him. Don't take him.
Okay.
We've already addressed edge.
Okay.
Scroll down a little bit, though. There's a couple guys. Demetrius Knight could be a good pick. Darian Porter could be a really good pick. And who's at inside offensive lineman? IOL. Jared Wilson's right there.
Yep.
So this is why my boy Grant's there, but Jared Wilson's also there. Jay Black's asking for some information on Alfred Collins. So earlier in the show, I kind of went over Alfred Collins, just a highly athletic 320-pound guy, 6'5", built like the way Grady Jarrett is built, where he doesn't look like he's 300 pounds. He looks like he's 280, but he's 320. He's built like just a brick house, just a monster.
See if they give us a review. Defensive tackle, generally viewed as reliable and strong run defender with potential as a pass rusher. He's considered a solid prospect particularly in the first 2 rounds of the NFL draft. He has received praise from analysts and scouts around the game. That includes NFL's Daniel Jeremiah, who describes Collins as a dominant run defender with upside as a pass rusher. He has the ideal size, length, and motor for his position. So there you go.
If I'm comparing him to anybody, it's Michael Brockers.
Okay.
So while that may not sound like the best name in the world, it's a big, tall, long defensive tackle who is known for eating doubles on the inside and opening things up for Aaron Donald.
Gotcha. Okay. So who are we? All right. Who are we going with here?
You need a center roster, right? You need a center. Jared Wilson's a center. Jared Wilson's probably the best center you could get in this draft.
Jared Wilson it is. All right.
And then
go ahead. I'm sorry.
And then I'd go back to all.
All right.
Now, you see Emory Jones is there in the 4th, which is weird, right?
Yeah.
Because he could be a good long-term right tackle. Kevin Winston at safety could be fun. What's there at linebacker real quick? I just want to see if one of these guys who Paul could be interesting at linebacker. Barrett Carter could be. We do have that later 4th round pick though that we picked up from the Bills.
Okay.
So in this situation, let's look at all again.
All right.
And then scroll down a little bit. Yeah, I can't see what's going on. Okay.
Sorry.
So this is where I would take Charles Grant over Emory Jones. I think for the Falcons scheme, he fits a bit better. And we're taking him as a tackle, not as an inside offensive lineman, right?
Gotcha. Okay.
All right. So we're back at our pick. And you've got Billy Bowman, potential safety to look at. But in this situation, you've got some good linebackers here with Paul and Stutzman. Stutzman is very similar to Landman. Can't cover. Doesn't really fit. There's also another guy, go a little bit lower, in Barrett Carter. Again, talking about coverage. I would take Carter as the guy there because his coverage ability, he's not, I don't love him in man-to-man, but he's competent.
Okay.
I would love to see Carter in the zone coverages that Atlanta's going to be running this year. A lot of 3D 6 under type stuff, 3D 5 under kind of concepts is what they ran. All right, so now we're in the 5th round.
Yep.
All right, you already got your big fat nose tackle, right?
Yep.
You already got an athletic lineman. You already got 2 athletic offensive linemen. You got your edge. You need some help at corner/nickel, maybe a safety. In this situation, Kobe Bryant sitting right there. Good zone, good man, really solid player, but can also learn how to play the nickel effectively. And has shown he could play the nickel in college a little bit. So I would take Kobe there.
Kobe it is.
Oh, all right. So Jay Black asked a question, are the Falcons interested in running the big nickel? Every team in the NFL runs the big nickel now with the 3rd safety.
How often do the Falcons do it?
10% of the time.
Okay. Yeah. That's what I would have said.
Roughly.
I've not noticed that a lot, but yeah. Okay.
So they'll run it, but they won't run it that much. Now, we're looking at the situation and just kind of throwing this out there. There is a quarterback on the board, but this quarterback class kind of sucks. The defensive line prospects there are pretty solid. Edge is pretty solid. You're in the 7th round roughly at this point. So I would just look at safety and just see if there's any safeties available that might fit.
All right, let's do that.
I mean, not really a ton of guys. I might get some flack for this, but look at wide receiver.
You're
in the 7th, and you've already addressed all the needs.
I'm just giving you shit. All right, where are we?
I'm just saying, you're in the 7th. You've already addressed all the needs. You got the corner, the linebacker, the 2 defensive linemen, your offensive line guys. It wouldn't hurt to add depth at wide receiver. And honestly, I'd like Andrew Armstrong if I'm looking at a wide receiver here.
Well, Andrew Armstrong it is.
Here's the thing. I might get flack, for that idea. But if you think about how an NFL team thinks about it, hey, we're in the 7th round. We're just going to take a guy who fits what we like to do. That's fine.
I totally get it, man. I mean, like you said, it's 7th round, dude. You know what I mean? You've
Yeah.
already. I mean, if you're looking for needs at 7th round, you probably didn't have a good draft anyway. So
Exactly.
I totally get it. Who are we going here?
All right, so go to all. Here you take just whoever you think is going to be the best prospect available and the best long-term guy. I would take Q Robinson here. Didn't play a ton of snaps. Not really the best production because he didn't play a ton of snaps, was injured a lot. But in his 140 pass rush snaps, was more productive than Shamar Stewart in their respective careers. So I would rather take Q Robinson in the 7th than Shamar Stewart in the 1st. That's how I feel about Q Robinson.
And that's also how you feel about Shamar Stewart.
That's also exactly. That's how I also feel about Shamar Stewart.
Yeah. All right. So we're at the last pick, I think. Yeah, we're 242. We've addressed needs. This is pretty much BPA in the 7th round. Where are we going?
Look at tight end real quick. Now, this is not a Kyle Pitts replacement pick. This is a Charlie Werner needs an upgrade over him at receiver.
All right.
So that could be a potential spot to look at, right?
All right. Who are we thinking here?
So maybe a guy like Eurosic, maybe a guy like Briningstool. But let's just check running back real quick, see if there's anybody that might kind of be standing out a little bit more.
All right.
Okay, you got Marks, Brooks. Is Sanders from South Carolina still on the board?
Doesn't look like it, no.
No, okay. Yeah, so in this situation, I really like Sanders. He's basically Algier with top-end speed.
Okay.
That's the best way to describe him. So, yeah, I'd go back to tight end. I'd look at tight end. Because, again, you've already gotten your defensive lineman. You've already gotten your edge, multiple edge. You've already gotten a corner. You could look at safety if you really wanted to, but you don't have to. I'm seeing a stand mixer thing.
That's crazy. Hold on, let me see if this thing is crazy. Why are you giving me
ad block, man?
I'm gonna have to. Jesus. Let me just click that. Okay. There we go. Whatever. All right. So who do we pick? Where are we going here?
Tight end? Late 7th round, maybe go tight end. Maybe look at safety real quick just to double check, right?
All right. Maxim Hook. Hold on.
Who was there in the 5th as the top safety.
You want to take him?
No. Take Dion's boy, Shiloh.
Shiloh.
He's not Dion. It would be a fan service pick.
Yeah, I've not heard good things about Shiloh. I'll just put it like
he's a good athlete. He's got good coverage instincts. He's softer than puppy piss.
Ah! Ah, on warm cotton. Ah, oh wow, puppy fist. Damn.
He's probably a guy you bring to camp. Yeah, he's a seventh rounder. Don't expect much from seventh rounders. I'm just going to warn everybody that right now. But you bring him to camp, you put him in that competitive environment. He really sees what it's like to be an NFL safety with Bates and Helms, two guys that are actually hitters. And I think you see him toughen up a little bit.
Mm. All right, we'll see. We'll see. Well, look, let's do it again, man. Let's skip ad and Jesus Christ, what are we doing here?
Let's try PFFs just for the ad reason.
All right. Just when I go and get used to it, Scott, you gotta change
That's why
it
you
up.
got to switch between them. You got to explore the different sims.
All right. Why is it? I think I paid.
Oh, I was gonna say, do you need me to log in?
No, I think I paid for it. I just don't remember what my login is. Hang on. Let me see if I can see if it'll.
Do you not do the Google sign in?
No, I don't trust anybody. I don't. I don't. I don't remember this.
It's password PASSWORD.
God dang it! Hold on. Hang on. You know what? Just give me. Hey, just side chat me in Facebook Messenger. Give me yours. I'll log in. I don't want to take our audience through this. It's not their fault. I didn't keep up with my PFF log. I know I pay for it, which is bad. It's very bad, but I still know where the password is.
Oh, hold on.
All right.
Mine's actually attached through my
Oh, I got it. Okay. That's yeah. Okay.
You got it?
I got it. I had to remember what it was because I'm old. Because I'm old as hell, and I don't remember great. Let's see. We're gonna do the Falcons. We're gonna
7
enter
rounds.
draft.
Hold on. Make sure you click on the 7 rounds. It was set to 1 round.
Let's go 7. It's on turbo. All right.
And just hit enter draft.
Let's go. And I thought it is set to turbo, right? Wait, is there start? Oh,
Yeah.
start. A big old button right.
I was gonna say you gotta hit the start button.
What are we doing? We don't need a wide receiver, people. All right, so what are we doing?
This is I do want to go on a little rant here. All these teams saying, or all these sites saying, hey, Falcons need to get a wide receiver. Falcons need to do this. Falcons don't need a wide receiver. Now, don't get me wrong. Adding a wide receiver is not a bad idea to this roster. But it's not a need position. It's a luxury position.
It's definitely a luxury position.
Should they get a wide receiver on day 3 to add competition to the room? Yeah, why not? It's day 3 at that point. Should they get a wide receiver on the first 2 days?
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
You need to add some defensive studs to this roster before you get a wide receiver.
Yes, you do. Amen.
So look and see what teams are interested in trading real quick.
All right. We got
the Bucks is the highest team that wants to trade with us. They want to trade up for Jihad. So if they're going to trade with us, we're getting their first and their second. Offer it, see if they take it.
Okay, they took it.
Okay.
Resume draft.
So that means we really want Jihad. That's who they took.
You are. Oh, you know who they took?
So that's a better situation for the Falcons, actually. They took Shamar Stewart.
They
don't
did.
have to worry about him anymore.
Freaking idiots. All right.
So now search
for
on the right side of the box.
Okay.
Search for Michael, because Michael they have weirdly low ranked.
Is it
Okay, so
M-Y-K-E-L?
MYKEL. So he's off the board now too.
Somebody took him. All right.
So let's see who's on this board. You got Starks. I don't see the Falcons going DB.
Okay. You got Walter Nolan, who you're
Okay.
not a fan of, I think. We got Donovan.
Just off field.
That's right. Kenneth Grant, Josh Simmons. And
Go Kenneth Grant in this one.
Kenneth Grant? All right.
Go Kenneth Grant in this one.
All right.
They've been doing work on these defensive tackles.
All right.
All right. So with this one, see if there's anybody that wants to trade, because no name's standing out, right?
All right. Oh, wait. We got 2 trades. So Denver Broncos, we would go down 1. No, wait.
5.
We're on pick 2, right?
Yeah, we're on pick 2. So it'd be 46
for 51,
51, and 122.
Did you want to try 85 or no? You think that'd be pushing it?
That's pushing it. I would just do 51 and 122.
All right. Accepted. All right. So we got Omar Lott.
Who's at edge?
Let's take a look at edge in the drop down. There we go. Braden Swinson. Oh, Princely Human.
So they have Swinson rated real high. I don't have Swinson anywhere close to this. They're overrating Swinson.
Okay.
I would take Princely here. Princely fits exactly what the Falcons need. Now, if you can trade down and get that extra second and that extra fourth, that's really nice to have. And then 2 picks later, you're sitting right here. Look at the center position. They probably have it as ILL as well.
Yep. There we go.
All right. They've got Tate Ratledge, Jared Wilson right there too. I'm okay with reaching for Jared Wilson.
So you want him here?
Might as well. If he's right there.
Let's take him there.
All right. 4th round. You've got the center, you've got the edge, you've got the nose tackle.
Excuse me.
You got those 3 bases covered. Who's at the top of the board? Because the boards are different for these two sites.
Let's see. Your picks, full draft. Jesus.
I would click on your picks. Just leave it on your picks from here on, just so that you kind of know what we've done.
All right.
So we got Grant and Princely and Jared Wilson.
Yep. So we got an edge, a defensive tackle, and a center.
Fat guys win championships.
Fat guys win championships. We need a lot of
championships. So I would set it to linebacker, corner, safety, maybe tackle. But I would see what's on the top of the board first.
All right.
No, so on that side. Yeah, on the top of the board right there.
Kyle Williams, Savion Jones, Jamari Caldwell, RJ Mickens, Jaden Blue, Baron Sorrell, Isaac Tesla, Torrey Horton, Trevor Etienne.
Let's see. Noel Williams is right there.
Is he? Kyle Williams is. Let me just look up Williams.
All right. So Noel Williams from Cal. Very solid corner, can play nickel as well. However, we have that extra fourth. And yeah, there's a wide receiver sitting right at the top of the board. But that wide receiver runs a 4-4 flat, would give the Falcons another guy that could take off the top of a defense. And yeah, I know it's the 4th pick, but You've already addressed the biggest needs, the biggest spots, the biggest places you can upgrade. This is upgrading slot receiver.
All right. Plus, we got to pick in like right now, so we're
Yeah,
like we all
picks
pick
later.
22.
Yeah, so
So,
it's might as well be back-to-back picks at that point. So when you look at it that way, you're like, all right, well, I got back-to-back picks in the second, back-to-back picks in the fourth. I can afford to take a guy like Kyle Williams there, just going with my top-rated guy.
all right.
So we've got wide receiver, center, edge, nose. Who is available at corner? Is Noel Williams the best corner, or is he off the board?
No, he's there.
So while Kobe Bryant is also on the board, we took him in the last one. This time, do Noel Williams. Very similar type guys that are good in multiple coverages. This isn't a star draft, if you will. This is a future starter draft, right? Noel Williams, Kyle Williams, Jared Wilson. These guys are future starters. They may never go to a Pro Bowl, but you might have an 800-yard number 2 wide receiver right there, Kyle Williams. Okay. You might have a number 2 corner who can hold up against anybody. Okay. You might have, now with your first 2 round picks, you've got starting center, future starting edge, starting nose right away.
Gotcha.
Like your third guy in the edge rotation, your starting center, and your starting nose right away.
Okay.
The positions they're trying to draft for this year.
Gotcha.
Now here, you can just kind of go best player available. I really like Jordan Hancock. He's listed at safety. He played safety. He played corner. He played kind of a star role for like a 3-3-5 style defense. So he was playing kind of that big nickel that they were asking about in the comments.
Yep. Okay. All right. That's fair. Now, we got Ty Robinson left, who's a defensive lineman, but look at where his rank is versus we're picking at 242. His ranking's 122.
I don't love him, but at 242, I'm taking him all day.
Okay.
Because I don't love him in the context of, oh, he's a 4th round pick, right? I love him in the context of I'd have him on my roster at 7th overall, like 7th round.
All right. So we got Kenneth Grant. We got Prince Human Milan. We got Kyle Williams, Noel Williams, Jordan Hancock, Ty Robinson. I think it's a good draft. Debo says, what the Falcon? What up, T-Wil and Scott? He says, T-Wil, you're really showing your age right now. And I am. Falcon Commander says, good hump day, April 16, 2025. Go Atlanta Falcons. Rise up, Dirty Birds. Debo says, a center with the top 3rd pick. Well, we do need a center, Debo. And look we took our massive badass defensive tackle and our stud coming off the edge at 1 and 2, which were your major needs. So, we got about 8 corners on the roster right now. So I would say your first 2 rounds, they probably do need to go to defensive lineman and edge.
Fat guys win championships.
Fat guys win championships, Debo.
It's never a bad idea to take an offensive lineman. It's never a bad idea to take a defensive lineman. If this draft was just straight defensive linemen, edge defenders, and offensive linemen, it would be a great draft. We could even run that scenario if you wanted to.
No time like the present. Let's do it. This will be our last one for the day, but hey, I'm game. Jay Black says, we need a center, but we got our edge and D tackle, so we good. All right. New mock draft.
Now, this one we're going to do no trades just because of time.
All right. That's cool. Enter draft. Is it set to turbo? I hope it is. I think it is. Yeah.
It's automatically set to turbo.
All right. Let me make this a little bigger because now I know you guys can't see it. And I think that's a little better. Start the draft. All right.
Fat guys win championships. So let's look at edge.
Mike Green.
Go Mike Green.
Mike Green it is. Let's go.
Pass rushers, offensive linemen only in this draft.
All right, that's what's up. Let's see.
So
let's look at edge.
So
Okay.
pop edge, go back up.
Up here.
Make sure it shows your picks as well.
Yep. Okay. So we got Landon.
So with this, you can do multiple positions at the same time, right?
Oh, really?
So you can do edge, defensive interior.
How do I do that?
So scroll down. So you've got edge already selected. You can click on DI as well.
Okay.
And then you scroll back in, and then you also include, IOL, and just see who the top players are there.
That's cool. All right.
Now scroll down a little bit.
All right. So Omar Norman Lott.
Or Tyleik Williams.
Tyleik it is. All right. Now we got, wait a minute. I guess we got to do it again.
Yeah, you got to do it each time, unfortunately.
IOL.
Probably too early for that.
Edge.
And interior.
Lineman. Okay.
All
so
right.
Savion, go ahead.
Savion Jones, Baron Sorrell, Tyler Batty. We're at the 118th pick. I would take Seth McLaughlin here.
Okay.
So you know who's going to love this draft is Damsky.
Yeah.
It's got 2 Ohio State guys and a Marshall guy. Now this time I would also throw tackles on the list, right?
Exactly.
I'd also throw in defensive interior and edge guys, right? So with this situation, yeah, Ty Robinson probably is the best player available at 218. So yeah, take him there.
All right.
And then scroll down a little bit more. Go to filter positions and just do tackles this time. Now, I would not go with Travis because Travis is, let's just say he's slow.
Okay.
Like really slow. Let's see. Who else is on this? Vincent Pohl. Vincent is a guy who I would go with.
All right.
So the reason why is athletically, he's a dude that can hold up at right tackle in the NFL. He moves side to side really well. He can handle speed and pass rush. And even with just focusing on fat boys.
Fat boys win championships.
Look at what PFF grades this draft.
Yeah, man.
All the way at the bottom. They graded an A. It's in the top 25% of Falcons drafts.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Because fat boys win championships.
Hey, man. Hey, I tell you, podcasters win championships when you got the best draft guy in the business. So, hey, man, all good. I'll be your backup all day, Scott. Doo-wop. Let's go. Doo-wop. Doo-wop. Hey, tell these folks where they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter at Carasik S. I'm going to post a couple more scouting reports on the Substack between now and the draft.
All right.
I'll also post a mock draft. I'm only doing one league-wide mock draft this year. It's going to be for the Huddle Report competition. I'll see how I fare. I don't have inside info to every single team or anything. I just go with my gut and go with what other beat writers and stuff and they're saying. Because if you can kind of read the tea leaves with the beat writers, you can kind of get an idea of like, okay, so this beat writer says they're going Cam Ward at 1. Got it. The most reliable beat writer for the The Browns is saying they're taking Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
The tea leaves are saying the Giants are going with Shadur Sanders. Like, that's kind of how I'm piecing out my mock right now. Like, all right, so this guy, this guy, this guy. This is what's kind of showing up. You know, the Saints at 9 are probably going Jackson Dart. So that's the stuff that I'm kind of listening out for. I do find that the info right now is better than it's going to be in a week.
Okay. All right.
Because in a week,
let me ask you this. You're obviously a freaking genius when it comes to football and all things money, not just salary cap. Is there any way you and I can get together maybe Tuesday night? And because you got the draft next week, so I'd love to get in maybe one more draft show if that's possible. Is Tuesday night okay for you? Or are you backed up?
so Tuesday night I don't have anything going on,
All right.
to my knowledge.
All right.
It may have to be a little bit later because I get off work at 6 and I'll want to eat dinner before. So like 8, we'll say.
8 is perfect. 8 is
But
perfect.
that should work.
All right. So yeah, we'll look to do that Tuesday night. I'll go ahead and get that on the calendar, get that on the schedule. And
Sure.
God, man, as always, I appreciate it, man. You are a wealth of knowledge. You are a reservoir when it comes to football. Now, I got the date where my friend's coming to town. He's coming in June. Okay, so that gives us about 2 months for you to make me into this killer so I can whoop his ass because I cannot lose to this guy. But I'm telling you, you got your work cut out for you. Like I hadn't played Madden in 2.5, 3 years, and I suck right now. I suck at donkey hooters. So you got your work cut out for you. But I believe in us, Scott. When I say us, I mean you. I believe
It's
in
a
us,
different
Scott.
engine this year, but yeah.
All right.
I mean, I haven't really played a ton of Madden, but I mean, it's football. It's only so much you can do.
I believe it.
My
Look, you're better than me. So that's just a start. Like I can't lose to this guy, man. We work together, and the amount of shit talking that I will have to endure going forward, it's just it's way more than humanly possible to endure.
do you play NCAA by any chance?
I do not. So when my mom got sick, I stopped playing any video really the year before. So my mom had real bad arthritis, then had a stroke. So for about 2.5 years, man, I hadn't played Madden at all. I was real heavy into it before, but then I just fell off. And with Madden, you can't kind of fall off. But yeah, man, we definitely got to do it. We got to get that on the
I
calendar.
find Madden like a bike, man. Once you get used to the engine and how the players are moving, you get your feel back real quick.
Hey man, your mouth to God's ears. We will see. But hey, to those of you guys in the chat, thank you for joining us. You guys could have done anything in the world. You chose to be with us, and we really appreciate that. We thank you for just joining us to talk Falcons football. We love our Falcons. We love the NFL. We love football, and hey man, that's why we love talking it with you. Want to thank you guys. I want to thank God. Would not be here without him. Thank you, Lord. I want to thank obviously Mr. Scott Carasik, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. A1 from day one, Mr. Jack Spade, Mr. Big Low Country, who am I? Berto, Chris A1, hell, Smitty, the whole 95 North group, Uncle Steve, Miss Carrie, baby, and I'm sure I forgot something. Oh yeah, John from Out of Your Falcon Mind, and Debo, guys I podcast with every week. You guys are amazing. Thank you. You guys have an amazing day. And yeah, guys, I'll see you guys in about an hour and a half as I got another show. And then I'll see you at 8 o'clock on One Time for the Fan. So you guys have a good one. Go Falcons. Thanks, everybody.